the concept of sabbatical comes from Leviticus 25. And in that, you hear about rest, resting in the Lord, Sabbath rest, ceasing your work. Here at Biola, professors can apply about every 7th year for a sabbatical. I like that part where it's ceasing your work. Thought, this is a screaming deal. I'm going to apply to be off work for a semester. So I decided I want to go back to Europe. I used to live in Europe. I was a missionary there. Wouldn't it be wonderful to have a semester off work? But there's something in that when you're doing nothing, God is still always doing something. You can't really do nothing if you want to be with God. And so going on sabbatical, I thought, I want to study a little bit about how Christianity migrated, let's say, across Europe, from the Iberian Peninsula in Spain all the way to the Emerald Isle. And I was very blessed. I got to do just that. We were working on a retreat center similar to Hilltop, if you're familiar with that, an Institute of Spiritual Formation. Those two pieces alone changed my life right here at Biola. And getting to know Judy Tenelsoff, who started the sabbatical with me. And when we traveled around Spain a bit to see the beginnings of Christianity, a number of kind of bad things happened. A car wreck, getting things stolen, and yet God was with us, and He showed up in miraculous ways, even giving me Spanish language that I never spoke before in order to work through these situations. And I enjoyed the peace, the quiet, being with the missionaries, with the Spaniards, with those in Spain, Ireland and England and Scotland that were engaging in spiritual retreat. So I had a plan, and God was with me. And He was with me through the body of Christ. And He was with me in the intimacy and the silence that I was able to experience in a whole new way. But then fast forward 7 years later to this past spring, and when I was due for another sabbatical, but hadn't planned to go anywhere. God had another plan. In the middle of the semester, some unusual physical things happened, and I needed to go to the doctor. And after a series of test, after MRI, after ultrasound and biopsies, I got a call. You have cancer. And it's already been spoken of, but the peace of God was with me. And I remember standing in my office here by myself saying, is this how I'm going to go to heaven? And I had the peace of God because He was with me. But I did go over to Judy Tenelsoff's office in ISF, and we prayed together. And within 2 days, I needed to make a plan with my dean and tell my students, and you students, a lot of you students, were with me in that moment. When I talked to my classes, when I taught the lesson and then at the end of the class said, this is what's going on and I'll only be here these 2 days. Everything happened so fast. But the Lord was with me, and He was with me through this body at Biola, my church, my family, my friends. He is with us in the body of Christ. That's a whole different kind of sabbatical, a whole different kind of resting in Him. He continued to do miracles in my life in this sabbatical because I was supposed to have not serious, not stage 4 cancer. That was already assuaged in my mind that I would be fine, but I would go through reconstruction. I would have some major surgery. And as people prayed for me, I got a phone call after waiting. Sitting at home is a whole different kind of sabbatical, in the backyard, seeing fireflies that I don't usually see around my koi pond, and hummingbirds. And the same thing I had asked for in 2006, waiting on the Lord, resting in Him, having that intimate relationship with Him. I had it in my own backyard because I had to wait. But God showed up, and He was with me. And I got a call after the first biopsy and the plans for a surgery that would require reconstruction. And they said, you don't have that much cancer. We're not sure what happened in it. And I said, I'm sure, because people have been praying. And even though I had a minor type of surgery, I did have 4 weeks of radiation. And even in that, God showed up. But I didn't have to have the reconstruction. He healed me. And He allowed me to go through the radiation so that I could be with people I would never be with otherwise. With people with not as good a diagnosis, chemo, possible death. and he was with me. And all the time when you think you're doing nothing and you're hanging out with God and you're waiting in a waiting room or in your backyard or in Ireland or Spain, when he's with us, we're never doing nothing. We're always doing something. He's always doing something.
Biola University offers a variety of biblically centered degree programs, ranging from business to ministry to the arts and sciences. Visit biola.edu to find out how Biola could make a difference in your life.